All right, let's just get right into it. Picture this. You open up your banking app and you see that big, beautiful number staring back at you. Maybe it's 10 grand, maybe it's 50 grand, and you get this little rush, right? A feeling of pride, of being responsible, because you've done exactly what we're all taught to do. But I'm here to tell you, that feeling, it's a total illusion. It's a trap. And that pile of cash isn't a safety net. It's a cage. You are, believe it or not, the victim of a mathematical crime. See, you think your money is safe and sound in the bank. But the hard truth, it's a depreciating asset. That means the very thing you think is protecting you is actually making you poorer every single day. So how is that even possible? Well, it all comes down to this invisible force, this silent heist that's constantly stealing the value from your savings. Let's just call it what it is. Your savings account is a guaranteed loss. I mean, the math is just brutal. Your bank's given you what, maybe 0.5% in interest? Meanwhile, inflation is munching away at 3% of your money's value. You're not saving, you're literally paying the bank to let your money lose value. Let me put some real numbers on this for you. Let's say you've got that $50,000 sitting there. You don't touch it, you don't spend a penny. In 10 years, that 50 grand will only buy you what $37,000 buys you today. Poof! $13,000, gone, vanished into thin air. That's the heist. Now you might be thinking, how did I fall for this? Well, look, it has nothing to do with being smart. It's not your fault. It's actually our biology. Our ancient caveman brain is just not wired for the modern world of finance. There's this thing called loss aversion. Basically, scientists have found that the pain of losing $100 feels twice as bad as the joy of finding $100. So what do? We'd rather take the guaranteed, slow, small loss from inflation than risk the up and down ride of the market, because it just feels safer to our primitive brain. That big number in your bank account, it's like a tranquilizer dart for the fear center of your brain. It whispers, hey, you're okay, you can survive the winter. It's a comforting lie, and it's the total opposite of what you need to do to actually build wealth. Okay, so that's the psychology inside our heads, but there's also an entire system on the outside that's built to profit from that fear. And when you let your cash just sit there, you're not just a customer, you're a key cog in the bank's profit machine. Here's how it works. It's called fractional reserve banking. You give them your money, they keep a tiny, tiny piece of it, and then they lend out the rest for car loans, for mortgages, and they charge crazy interest rates like 7%, 15%, even 25%. And what do they pay you for providing all that cash? Basically, nothing. You're working for the bank for free. So what's the actual cost of that warm, fuzzy feeling you get from seeing all that cash? We can actually put a number on it. And spoiler alert, it is a massive, life-changing mistake. Okay, let's play this out. Let's say you've got that $50,000, but really you only need about $10,000 for a real emergency. That leaves an extra $40,000 just sitting there, doing nothing. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Look at this. That 40 grand in the bank, after 30 years, it's still just about 40 grand. But that same $40,000, if you had just put it in a simple index fund and let it ride, it could have grown to almost $700,000. That is not a typo. So let's be crystal clear. That emotional comfort wasn't free. It had a price tag. And that price tag was over $650,000. Think about that. It is the most expensive insurance policy on the planet, and you bought it without even realizing it. Okay, I know, that's a lot of bad news. But here's the good news. There is a fix. And it's a simple, straightforward system. I call it the liquidity ladder. It's just 3 simple steps, or rungs. Rung 1, your sleep well buffer. This is just 1 month of expenses right in your checking account for easy access. Rung 2, your real emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. Now, here's the most important part. Once that bucket is full, you stop filling it. Every single dollar after that point goes to Rung 3, your wealth engine. This is where your money gets put to work in assets. But look, this isn't just about shuffling money between accounts. This is bigger. This is a fundamental mindset shift. You have to stop thinking of yourself as a saver and start seeing yourself as a capital allocator. So, what's a capital allocator? Simple. It's someone who sees every single dollar as an employee. And you have to ask yourself, is this employee working hard for me? If a dollar is just lazing around in a savings account, it's a lazy employee. You need to fire it from that job and move it to a department where it can actually be productive, your investments. The difference is night and day. A saver's whole goal is just to pile up cash. A capital allocator's goal is to acquire assets that generate more wealth. One is playing defense, hoarding for a sense of safety. The other is playing offense, deploying their capital to actually build a future. And the secret to making this all stick? You have to take your emotions out of it completely. And the way you do that is with automation. Figure out your number, your cash cap. That's your 1-month buffer plus your 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Then set up an automatic transfer to sweep any dollar that comes in above that number straight into your investments. Don't even think about it. Look, that emergency fund trap is so tempting. It promises safety, but it quietly delivers poverty by letting your money get eaten alive. Real freedom, the kind we're all after, doesn't come from a pile of cash that's just sitting there. It comes from owning assets that are out there working for you 24/7. So find your number, cap your cash, and put the rest of your money to work.